And we're back. It's time. The event everyone's waiting for. The talk of the Star Wars world is not Milan. It's not a sector. It's the 3v3 Team Championship Finals tonight. Winner takes all against KTOD and Maclunky. Jonathan, you excited?
I am. How much do they get?
It's first place is over $1,000.
Okay.
3 of the serialized playmats.
Yep.
These serialized playmats are actually proving valuable. As you know, we've been doing a silent auction for
What's
the one. The silent auction is at $550 for the one serialized playmat. In this event, we're about to give out 6 of them.
Yeah, that's a bit. I mean, $1,000, $500 playmat.
Yeah. And second place still gets $750. So there's a lot of money on the line tonight.
Yeah.
But who cares about the money? These guys want the bragging rights of the best team in Star Wars, and that's going to get decided over the next hour and a half tonight.
I know they do. We already watched one match, and they played hard.
Oh, that was brutal.
Yeah,
because they were playing hard. Like the KTOD team that came back from the dead, everyone wrote them off after their bad loss to Sekrit, who they came back and got revenge on. They went through the entire 9 rounds without a break in the team competition, and still had enough gas in the tank to finish off their secret rematch. So this is going to be exciting tonight.
We got the captains here.
Let's get the captains in here.
Let's
start with the underdog. Are y'all the under? It's probably not. Let's start with KTOD.
Who's the underdog?
Let's start with John Tatta himself.
We're the underdogs.
Yeah.
John Tatta. Let's go.
Yeah, how have you enjoyed the 3v3? I saw you say this is the most fun you've had at a Star Wars tournament.
Yeah, I have to be honest. I think the 3v3 is definitely the most fun that I've personally had playing Star Wars.
Yeah.
You know, the whole event, there's so much hype with the event. You always want to do well, you know, when it's a team event, because you don't want to let down your teammates, it's great. It's
a little nerve-wracking, but that also just adds to the excitement, right?
It is nerve-wracking. It's like I have felt more pressure in the team event than I did playing in the 6K event that I didn't do very well in. But it's just like, you know, the team event's just great.
I find, for me, one of the most exciting moments was when it's down to one table and you guys are, huddled around each other trying to figure out how to win that last match.
3 players against 3 players on one deck.
Yeah, like I think the first time we played them, in the first finals, it went to 3 games, right? Yeah, so it's just like all the players, like you said, are around that one last match trying to.
You guys were huddled around Monohan. Alex was like, "Come on, boys, bring it in."
Yeah,
he was like, "Come on, guys."
We were trying to help the best Monohan player in the world play the Monohan, matchup.
Yeah.
Like, he knows better than anyone. So
yeah. Well, do you have like any one memory you want to share from what you've played so far in those 3v3s? Like, did anything stand out?
It's all kind of a blur. Like, we played 9 rounds because we lost in round 4, so we got into the losers bracket and had to play 9 rounds. So 10 maybe after the finals, but it's all kind of a blur. It is nice that I played 4 Jango mirrors and won all 4 of them. So like that's pretty hype, because that matchup's kind of tough.
A lot of mirrors in this format.
Yeah.
It ends up being people don't want to play each other. So how about the mirror?
Right. Yeah. But I played 4 mirrors. I played against Monohan a couple times and a few Quinlans. So
yeah,
it's been great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's been great having you guys. Very exciting to meet you, and looking forward to watching this finals.
Yeah. So I'll let Zach tag in here for our opponents and go talk strategy with my teams. So.
We're about to play it. It's happening
John.
soon. Thanks for stopping in.
All right, Zach, are you get in here?
Come on in.
Team Maclunky.
Yeah, now you guys did not fall into the losers bracket.
Now we are.
Now you are. Yeah, you took one loss. You're now in the losers bracket.
Yeah.
You guys each have 1 loss, so we made them beat you twice, right?
Yes, they do have to beat us one more time.
So they won 1. How do you feel? How do you feel about your chances here?
I think we're feeling better than we were the first time.
Did you guys talk it through last night? Like, what are we gonna do?
Talked about it a lot.
So no one else in this room. Are you gonna use the same drafting strategy?
No.
Okay. Don't tell me what you're doing. We're gonna find out when we see it on here. But last time we had Monohan versus Monohan. What were the other matchups? It was
Cat Tarkintown versus Cat Green and Jango versus Jango.
Okay. So Jango mirror, Cad mirror, Han mirror.
The CAD was Tarkintown versus Green. They are very different, and
they are very different.
It is very favorable.
I got to play against you guys' Cad Green in one of my 3v3 matches. Yes. It was close. I played against Blandin. He beat me. I almost got it.
Nice.
Almost
Good job,
got
Blandin.
it. Yeah,
Sorry for
he
you.
did it. Yeah. But it's coming. Question about streaming the draft live. I'll think about it. I'll try to figure out how we could do that.
That's the thought that went through my head.
It's a little challenging to do. The teams usually step away from the table. I mean, you can. What's your experience been like during the drafting process at this tournament? How have you guys approached that?
Originally, the plan was to just always seat Jango. Like, if we win the die roll, always seat Jango first, and that quickly became it could be any of us. It really depended on what we saw.
And what I saw, most teams would kind of like, both teams would show their leaders, and then you kind of turn your backs to each other.
Yep.
Like huddle up a little away from the table and kind of talk about it.
We were just talking openly, actually, in front of the opponents, the first few rounds, and then we saw Frank's team step back and huddle, and we're like, why aren't we doing that?
We should do that.
We should do that.
Yeah. For us, it was always, who should we put down first? Because we lost a bunch of die rolls. We lost all our die rolls. But yeah. Any memories for you about the 3v3? Any big moments that you thought was really cool?
The two that stood out to me the most were when I lost a match and it went to the third game and we were just all watching our teammate and be like, oh, it all rides on this. That happened twice. One time where I lost and one time where Filip lost.
Yeah.
And I think those were the most memorable moments where it actually goes to that game 3 and you're just everyone's around the table just being like, ooh, can we do this or not?
Those are the moments. Mid-game when my teammate would ask me for advice, I'm like, man, I am focused. I don't know. That's tough. But when you're all huddled around for that final match, that's exciting.
Yeah, those were the most exciting moments for sure.
Well, thanks for stopping by.
Yes, thank you.
Exactly.
Looking forward to watching you battle.
Good luck tonight.
All right.
Good luck, man.
All right, so now we get to see the finals of the 3v3 that you and Jeff Creasy are going to be casting. Are you excited?
I am excited. How are we going to handle the drafting process? People want to see it on the stream.
Well, we won't have the seat draft, but I can explain. The idea was what's unique. One thing unique about Star Wars Unlimited is that we can see the leaders and bases. They're public. It's public knowledge before the match starts. When you sit down, you see what you're playing against. You're already thinking through play lines. But. So to take advantage of that, we did a seat draft where the team that wins initiative places one seat down, and everybody knows what base and leader that is. Then the other team puts all 3 of theirs down, and the first team then picks the 2 matchups they want. For the seat draft. So we will. What
if each team puts their leaders and bases on one camera? Okay. Where we've got one of these matches. Yeah. We can at least see the leaders. Okay. And then they'll move it forward to say, I'm committing this to my first slot. Yes. And then we'll see them move there.
Let me go make that happen.
Let's do that.
All right, I'll go make the seat draft happen, and I'll go get Jeff Creasy to come be your co-caster.
So when they'll put these out before they deliberate. Yep. So we can start talking about it on the stream.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
No, I'm not casting. We've got Jonathan Fisher and Jeff Creasy for that. But I will definitely be here helping.
All right, we're gonna do that. So who is that? Is that Mike or Maddie? Who's asking us to do that? We're gonna do it for you. I mean, that seems like a reasonable thing to do, right? Everyone puts their leaders down in that camera spot. We can talk about it in chat, on stream. You can see them push their first commitment forward. Yeah, I think this is good. Hello, Mike. Let's go. Mike Gem, Bobby Sapphire. It's my first time meeting Woo, Tatta. I've met Alex before. It was a pleasure meeting everybody. These guys have been killing it today. Yeah, I don't blame you for being excited about the draft process. And nobody's done this. And even in other games, you didn't have a seat draft like this with leaders. And a lot of time went into figuring out the best way to draft.
Okay, I figured out a way to visualize the seat draft. So you want to go to the camera of the... Which camera is that? God, so many cameras. Got 5 cameras, dude. That's sick. Who's doing this production? There it is. It's on camera 2. Let's go live on camera 2.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
I sound like a producer. There it is. Okay. Yeah. So here's the seat draft. So what we're gonna do: the dice with 1 is seat 1. The dice with 2 is seat 2. The dice with a 3 is seat 3.
All right.
We're missing Alex. I don't know where Alex ran off to. He's coming back with his base and leader.
Well, he's Mono Han.
Yeah, Mono Han. So these are the base and leaders combination. As the teams choose their seats, you will see them move their base and leader combination up to the dice. And so you can then discuss what the other, as the picks are being done, you'll be able to see, because there'll be some gaps, because the teams get to discuss each seat as they sit them down.
They're going to think about it.
Yeah.
So they'll put their first person forward, first pairing forward. The other team will decide all 3 of their pairings.
Yes.
And then the last team will then match up against the 2 remaining. Yep.
Yeah, and the way we did
it's kind of a 3-step process.
It is, and the reason we did it that way is that it was supposed to be a snake draft. So I pick first, you put 2 down, I put 2 down, I put 1 down. But as we practiced it, we quickly realized that third seat's always that third seat. There's no reason to wait to put it down.
It's locked in.
So once you put the first 2 down, you might as well put the third one down.
Yeah. Now these are not the pairings right now. These are just the leaders that are open to each team. These are the leaders.
This has not been paired. This is just showing you what the options are. They're about to roll for initiative, and the team that wins initiative gets to decide if they want to put the first seat down on seat 1 or they want to be the team reacting to that. And so we'll go get that started.
Who won the roll? I think they just rolled.
Let me ask. Did y'all roll yet?
Yeah, KTOD won the roll.
KTOD won the roll. So they're discussing whether they want to be the first team to put a seat down.
Come on, Frank. Come on, Frank.
Well, I can relay it from the door.
Well, what's Jeff doing? Can you come do this with me?
But I can't hear. What are they doing? Wait, they're making a choice.
Okay.
KTOD is placing Jango Tarkintown first in seat 1.
So we just had the captain of Maclunky say they were not going to do the same pairings.
Right. They actually let me sit down.
We're not on camera.
Yeah, we're not on camera.
Come on
so they actually told me as I was kind of getting some chatting about their loss yesterday, they felt like they did not want to match Mono Hans again. They did not. So I was really
trying to make it clear. KTOD won the initiative, placed Jango first, and now Maclunky is discussing how they want to respond.
Yes.
Yep.
We're on top of it. Exactly right.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Good right now. Thanks, Claire.
Okay. So they do not want to do the Mono Han mirror. They lost that yesterday, and they felt like it's not a winnable matchup for them.
It was a grind.
I want to say unwinnable.
It was just a grind.
They don't want to do it again.
Yeah.
And so now that Jango went down first, that puts them in a really tough spot. They don't want to sit Mono Han across from Jango, do they?
Well, if they don't want the Mono Han matchup, the only way to avoid it now is to play Jango.
Right.
Otherwise, it's on KTOD whether they get a Mono Han.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's kind of the high stakes of this draft process.
So last time they did a Jango mirror, if they must have a different plan for that matchup too. Then
they don't want a.
Or they wanted to win initiative.
They want to I think they want to force the Mono Han mirror. I think
KTOD
wants to force.
They
think that they have a big advantage. Alex playing against Phil.
Right.
In that mirror. I'm not saying that's true or not.
Yeah, I don't know if they do, but
I don't know, but it did. It looked pretty convincing though yesterday that Alex Blandin, who's arguably the best Mono Han player in the world, it's not who you want to play a mirror against if you're a Mono Han player. And Phil's fantastic himself with great results. Consistent great results. He made top cut in our 6K.
Yeah.
You guys will see him tomorrow morning in our top 16, $6,000 prize, a single elimination. That's going to be so exciting starting at 8 Eastern tomorrow.
These are not easy tournaments.
No, you won't find a concentration of players this good until day 2 of Galactics.
Over 100 players, too.
Yeah, we're right at 126, 24, something in that name. But it's not just that. We had 24 day 2 buys, 20 planetary qualifiers playing in the 6K today, and then in the 3v3 tournament. That concentration, about 1 in every 4 players being that accomplished, you won't see that when you go to sectors.
Look what they did.
Okay.
So they did.
I told you they did not want the Mono Han mirror. They didn't want it so bad.
Yeah.
They chose a bad matchup for Mono Han.
Now,
Jango.
I was
Tarkintown.
practicing Mono Han, getting ready for the 3v3. I was not just losing to Jangos. It wasn't just auto loss.
Yeah. Okay.
But there's also another thing that can come up in this 3v3 is you throw someone to the wolves and you say we're going to lose this match.
Yeah.
We're winning the other two.
What's difficult though for them having lost the initiative role is they're not going to get to choose though the other 2 matchups. So
but they might think that both of these decks can beat Alex.
Well,
and that both of these decks have a chance.
We're going to find out tonight in the next hour and a half.
I know.
I think it's an hour and 25. We may go untimed tonight. We may just let them play till it's over.
We have Korean barbecue at 9.
I know, but I think I want to see this more than I want to eat.
Yeah.
So is that it? Did they? I think
That's
they did the match.
That's
there it is. The matchups are set for today. So which one of these matches should we start with on camera? I think now we do the Jango. Ooh. The Jango Mono Han. You want to do that first?
I mean, we can.
The Jango. Which matchup do you want to see first? We kind of think table 1 would be the most exciting one. Now that because they chose to put Phil against Jango Tarkintown, which is generally a bad matchup.
And so that was the reason that when So I'm here with the insider info. So I was there beside the draft so that I could see anything exciting happening. So KTOD expected it to be the Jango mirror. They expected that to be what Maclunky was going to do.
Yeah.
And so they were really surprised that they put Phil here with the Jango.
I think they're throwing him to the Wolves, and they want to win the other 2 matches, is what I was thinking.
I think they wanted to avoid the Monohan mirror. I really do think that they said that quite a few times to me today, discussing yesterday.
Yeah, and I think I assume that I assume that that's Bobby Sapphire on the KTOD account. He's exactly right. They basically said that the Tatta's expertise. He didn't verbalize this. What I could sense was he said he's thinking this Cad Green's going to be good wherever it goes. So we're going to try to win the other 2, and if they throw that against Jango, we're fine. We're fine losing that and winning the other ones. We saw Alex win the Monohan mirror yesterday, and so when Maclunky set their lineup out, KTOD had to have a little bit of a regroup.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, and so I'm interested to see. I'm interested to see this Cad versus Jango. And if there's any matchups that the stream wants to see specifically, we can try to fit those in too. We want to try to get a little bit of everybody. I know it's a little bit more confusing that way, but in this team format, we really want to make sure that everybody on the team gets a chance to kind of show what they're doing.
Yeah, I'd say that's what we're going to do. We can't just listen. This stream's going to give us a bunch of nonsense. They're going to ask for every match.
No, they'll ask.
Everyone will ask.
Yeah, but we don't have to do what they say. I'm just asking for engagement.
Like, show me this one. Show me this one. Show me this one. Okay. Who's piloting Jango for Maclunky?
Jango for Maclunky is Tyler.
Okay. All right.
So it's Wu versus Tyler, aka Dark.
That's that matchup.
And then we've got Tatta versus Filip.
Yep.
And Zach versus Alex.
All right, so this is the Jango Monohan here. Set up those names. This is.
So
I know that's
Tatta versus
Filip on the right.
Yeah.
Oh, Tatta and Filip. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, Tatta and Filip.
Tatta. I'm trying to say
T's.
it right.
It's T's, not D's.
Oh, okay. That's
not.
right.
It's not Tada. It's Tatta.
Ta-da.
Exactly.
KTOD. And Filip with
an
F.
Yes.
Yes. Asked him earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, let me set that.
Yeah. So they're reviewing lists right now. These are the same lists from yesterday. So the review process probably won't take long. It is different pairings today than we saw in the first best of 3 yesterday.
Yeah, so each player probably does need to study the list a good bit.
I feel like they've talked about it already. Like these are 2 very competent teams that both want to win this.
If it was me, I would still sit down and study.
Oh, absolutely. You still sit down. What I would do is I just kind of look through it while looking. So yeah, like we have 6K and.
Yep. All kinds of things to update.
Working on the overlays.
All kinds of things to update.
Finals.
Let's see if that fits.
Yeah.
Fit well enough.
We got that.
Yeah, that fits. And then we got all kinds of other fun. Let's go. Which one is this? We'll just hide you, little buddy.
It was a 2K or 2.1K. We should put that.
It's an image.
Dang it.
Oh, I might find something to put there, but yeah, it's not that. All right. So they're shuffling up.
Honestly, I'm really excited that this got moved to this afternoon instead of trying to fit everything in yesterday and kind of delaying the 6K. It's pretty hype. We've had a long day of SWU, and people are excited that they made the top 8. People are upset that they didn't make the top 8. The full range of emotions that you get, and since we don't get any top 8 play today, that's all tomorrow. Now we get this emotion-filled final of some really high-quality SWU, so that's really exciting.
Yeah. Also, I was so tired after that day.
True.
I feel a lot better today.
Yeah.
I was exhausted. This won't be nearly as bad as if we had tried to play that out right then.
Yeah. Yeah, Gandork talking about the tunings of the different lists, and I think that's especially true in the 6K, or sorry, in the 3v3 team event.
Yeah.
Because a lot of players specifically tune their list and they said, hey, I'm going to play this deck, but I can make sure that I always dodge a certain matchup. Or I can say, I'm tuning this deck to always go into Jango and to dodge certain other matchups. So you do see a lot more unique cards and kind of almost pre-sideboarding here than you would in the 6K main event, for example, or at your PQs or sectors.
I expected a lot of Han mirrors, so I had some Plo Koons in my main deck just to knock out the Han leader, and it definitely came up. There's a lot of Han leaders in this format, or Han mirrors in this format. But you wouldn't do that normally, right? So there's a lot of that kind of stuff in these decks. All right. Is this one mine?
Looks like we're getting started here, yes.
Yep. Shuffling up.
They're flippy-floppied on the sides. I don't know if it matters.
Yeah, that matters. Oops. That is not Filip on the left.
Believe it or not, the KTOD Matt is the KTOD player. So yeah, that one is Filip. Working on the overlays. We're doing it live.
It keeps getting me because they're in the wrong order.
Yeah.
On the in OBS. Think.
So we see here, we see the liberated slaves from Filip and Crafty Smuggler from Tatta. The Crafty Smuggler is really one of the best openings here because the reason Han likes to play these 3/5s is because they can't be pinged Tarkintown, but Crafty Smuggler can still just pop the shield in Tarkintown. And you get to, since you have initiative from Han using the Han action on turn 1, you still get to do that and exhaust it before you take any damage. So Tatta has that option if he wants to take it. He obviously doesn't have to do that. He could do other options, but that's an obvious play that's available to him. We'll see if he has something in his hand that he likes more. Maybe he wants to just tap it and try to get in damage.
We'll see how Filip plays this, but from my experience, I wanted to be the aggressor.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to base as much as I could.
I like this a lot. So starting with the Gorilla Soldier before Filip plays anything. So if he puts any damage on his base, the Gorilla Soldier gets to ready. If he puts any damage on his liberated slaves, then the slaves gets tapped. And so now he's basically forcing Filip to say, hey, if you want to take out my unit, you're still going to get Tarkintown, and you're going to take 5 to base this turn. So I think this is a really solid development from Tatta. He also gets to keep the shield on his Crafty Smuggler. Gorilla Soldier, it's one of the Jango cards that I'm highest on that's not named War Juggernaut from this set. And I think that it's War Juggernaut or Devastator, I should say. It's just... whenever I play Jango, it's always the card I want to see on turn 2.
I'm not even sure if it's a Jango card. I think we might start seeing it.
It's
in
not
other
Jango
places.
only for sure. It's definitely not an only Jango. I think it's just a solid 2-drop. It's like if you get Surprise Strike on a stick with the unit.
It's good.
Yeah, it's really solid.
So Filip decided to take the control role here.
Yeah, so it plays an Ahsoka.
unit.
So Tatta is going to have to discard a card. Sorry about the glare. We did the best we could. We couldn't control the lighting, but that is a new Ahsoka unit. So John's going to discard an ISB agent. And of note, it is not irrelevant that Filip has had to Han action both turns. He is down to 1 card in hand.
Yeah.
So very low on resources, and the Tarkintown could put him down to just 1 unit. Of course, that makes the Ahsoka a little bit stickier. And Tatta might want initiative more than he wants to Tarkintown the liberated slaves, which is what he does go for. I think he knows that this Tarkintown's probably going to stay available. He might want to keep it in case he gets DJ'd, even though that may be a couple of turns away. He may just be thinking ahead. And with 0 damage on his base as well, I definitely don't hate saving the Tarkintown here from Tatta. I think he just likes to have all his options available. He could have Tarkintown there, and maybe it would save him 3 health, but down the road, it could be much more important and save him more.
But it's certainly not the juiciest target, and it sets this up where the slaves can still, or the Crafty can still take out the slaves.
Exactly. So now he can just trade the Crafty for the slaves. He can't kill the Ahsoka this turn, but he still saves his Tarkintown, and he gets one of the units off the board at the cost of what I assume is going to be 3 damage, unless Filip has some other tricks up his sleeve. Like, honestly, if I was Filip, I wouldn't hate a Waylay on the Crafty Smuggler. It feels really tempo negative, but it goes back to forcing Tatta to either use his Tarkintown or eat damage.
I think I would like to just do the 3 and then drop
Yeah.
like a Kira or something. Just replace that
Yeah.
those slaves with the 3/5. That's fresh.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'd prefer to do. And we don't know the cards in hand. And I agree. I think this is the best play, honestly, for both players.
You also want to play from hand. Oh,
Another
he's got a
Han
flip.
action.
Wow.
So I think he's going to go down to 0 cards in hand here.
In order to flip
unless
his
he plays
Han
a
next
smuggle
turn.
card.
Yeah,
He
and
doesn't. Cantina Bouncer for the IG. So he does play another 3/5.
So then next turn to flip his leader, he's gonna Han resource after normal resourcing and be down to 0. Get up to 7 if he attacks, but he might have a Zori down there in that resource pile. Is what I'm thinking.
But the other thing is, I think Filip might not try to flip his Han this turn because against
could.
Jango, you know that you're not gonna easily get to 7. If Tatta doesn't want him to get to 7, he won't basically. Because
Yeah,
we
that's
know
why
he
I
has
think
the
he
IG.
might be going for Zori.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna resource flip and play a Zori. But let's see.
Yeah,
Let's see.
I think he either goes for that or he just doesn't even Han action this turn and is just doesn't go up to 6. I think it's one of those two things.
So the reason I'm not thinking that is because he went down to 0 cards, and we don't have 5 smuggles that we're excited about.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Yeah, no, that's a really good read. I agree with your read.
So he has the option of what to do with his crafty. He could also, be first to pull the trigger, spending his resources.
Yeah.
He could immediately flip his leader. One thing that comes up is being the first to flip your leader so that you can surprise strike. Take out the Han.
I don't know Filip's exact list. I don't think there's a punish for immediately flipping. Tatta has reviewed the list, so he will know if there's a punish for immediately. I don't think Filip is on Plo Koon's, but Plo Koon can't kill Jango in one shot in this list anyway. So I don't think there's any way that Filip could, in one action, kill Jango if he flips.
Yeah, I don't think so. This is what I would have done. Just go ahead and flip. In the Han mirrors, you're doing the same thing. You want to be the first to deploy your leader so you can threaten theirs.
Yeah. It's also interesting now. He's kind of it's a really interesting cat and mouse game right now because Tatta can play a multi-tapper now with Jango deployed, but if he plays a multi-tapper now, he saves. It's obviously Filip's action, but if Filip does something to Dirtle, like if he Han activates, if he does something, then he's putting it back on Tatta and saying, "Are you gonna play your multi-tapper now, or are you gonna let me start attacking with units? Are you gonna try to wait until I flip Han?"
If I'm Filip, I'm getting an attack in. Well,
I think so as well. I think you just attack for 3 here. Oh, it goes into the Jango. Interesting.
Well, one thing interesting about that is if he wants to threaten Han, he threatens himself too.
Yeah, and so now
we both die.
So now he could kill Jango in one action because he could put a hotshot blaster on his Ahsoka to kill Jango. So now Tatta has to worry about it. And yeah, he does play his tapper now.
So he's got to tap it down.
Yeah. And he can still tap Han. He could just save the Crafty Smuggler to tap Han.
Absolutely. Yeah, he could.
So Filip still has to act first here. I still like Tatta's position a lot based on this current board state. I don't think Filip got in enough damage in the first few turns to feel kind of comfortable in this scenario. Filip is a very good Han player. He could very well prove me wrong, but if I get to pick either seat right now, I would rather be where Tatta is, I think.
So we are going for the flip. I'm still expecting a Zori out of this.
I would agree with that.
We'll see.
And maybe
just
he
given
has
that he committed to this so early
absolutely.
on.
And he might have both. He might have Zori and a DJ and just assumes that he's not going to get to play the DJ. He might also only have Zori and just say, there's no way I get there. Who cares?
That's one of my experiences in this matchup. You just don't get to 7.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you want to have that 6.
I agree with your read that he definitely has a Zori. Or something that he wants. It could be a Big Falcon. I'm not sure if he's on Big Falcon, but a 6-cost smuggle card that doesn't need his leader to play.
And like we said, he wants to use the crafty to exhaust the Han. So he's just going to get in with his leader, probably.
Yeah, and so... And
see a Ruthless? Do we see what else is in Tatta's hand?
I didn't see...
Oh, okay. So now here's the little
He spends an action with the Tarkintown. I like this. It lets him get more damage on Han if he wants to. Filip can't really pass here because Tatta can just claim and say, well, you wasted your last card from hand and have spent no resources this turn.
Oh, 100%.
You have to
cannot
do
claim.
something.
Yeah, it's not, or he can't pass. Absolutely.
He could also just play the Zori and not flip his Han. I think he knows that playing the game of trying to get to 7 doesn't really matter this turn.
Yeah. I mean, he's not even thinking about getting to 7, really. He's
Yeah,
thinking about, okay,
exactly.
How do I navigate?
And I actually kind of like playing the Zori now, because the other thing that does is now he could, if he plays the Zori or whatever he's going to play.
Blaster?
Oh, interesting. So he's going Blaster on the Cantina Bouncer.
Huh.
Because so this is nice, because if Tatta, the natural play that you would want to do, not thinking about this board state, is Crafty Smuggler kills the Cantina Bouncer. But Crafty Smuggler is the thing that you've been saving to tap Han. And Jango into Han kills Han. So right now, Jango can't attack either of these units, either Han Leader or the Cantina Bouncer, without dying, and Crafty Smuggler can only attack one of them.
And the Bouncer is going to be able to kill Jango if he gets initiative.
The other nice thing from Tatta's perspective here is it doesn't feel as bad for him to just kill the Cantina Bouncer, because Han can't flip, go to 7, and get DJ'd. But what can happen is Filip can flip, and either Jango dies to Han, Filip gets initiative and gets to attack with Han next turn, or Jango dies into Han, or Jango goes to base.
Yeah, none of that's happening.
Yeah.
So,
well, no, but I'm just pointing out the
other options,
the smorgasbord of options that Filip made Tatta consider.
Yeah. Oh,
and now he does kill the Jango. It's interesting to use the Blaster. He killed Jango without the Blaster, but he wanted to spend his resources, and he wanted to get the extra power onto Han.
We know the Maclunky team planned for this, right? Like they knew they were going to set themselves up to not play the mirror, and they probably knew this was going to end up being. I mean,
Maclunky picked Filip into this matchup.
Right.
Tatta sat down, and Maclunky said, "We are going to play this Han into your Jango." So this is the matchup that Filip chose for himself.
So it's probably something they put time into last night.
It is, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's a matchup that they said, "Filip, you're going to go win this." It could be a matchup that they said, "Filip, you go here, and we'll win the other two." Yeah. I don't think that's how they think, and I don't think that's how Filip operates. I think he's a good player and he's confident in himself.
I also was wondering if he forgot the Han resource. Do you want to pop out? He should be at 8 before he defeats a resource, but I don't think he is.
So they're talking to a judge now.
Okay. I think he missed it too. Gandork, but I wasn't 100% sure.
So yeah, what happened is Filip caught that he forgot to Han resource, and he caught it after he drew, and so they're relaying with the judge. So he's going to get the top card at random and then defeat 2. It really doesn't matter. He didn't have anything else to play. It was just an attack. He replaced the smuggle and then didn't do the Han off the top.
Right.
Tatta was fine with it as well. It was just something that, not a big deal.
No, we got it. Yep.
So yeah, quick judge call there. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, so Warjug here, really nice.
Very nice.
Can only tap one thing, but if you kill the other thing, you only need to tap one. So.
And just putting a little damage on that Crafty, why not?
Yeah. It's not like, Han's not going to ping anything for 1. So
no, it's not.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I have an update.
Okay.
Wu lost game 1 to Tyler.
Okay, so Tyler Dark from Maclunky Gaming up a game on Wu from KTOD.
And that was Jango versus CAD.
Yeah, so Tyler's Jango beat Wu's CAD.
Yep.
So Jango Tarkintown up a game for Maclunky. Jango Tarkintown for KTOD, still in game 1. Tech smuggled out.
Yeah, Gandork. He got to see cards before deciding what to defeat from his resource row. Not likely to matter, but it is some information. Given that you have tech, there's little information there.
Well, you defeat the resources after you draw anyway. So he didn't see any extra cards. He just put the top deck. He put the top card from his deck into play as a resource. So technically, he had less information.
It's just a different card. Okay.
Because he chose what to resource for the turn, and then realized he should have had an extra card in resource.
That's
so
true.
that card was.
That's
So
true.
he actually had less information than he should have had.
Okay, because he resourced before.
He resourced before seeing what Han, aka
yeah.
smuggled in.
Yeah, that's right. You're right.
And you can argue that the order of cards was technically different, and that is accurate. But they're both they're all cards, unknown cards from a randomized source. So saying that they should have been in a different order isn't really in my opinion, isn't really a valid argument. But either way, we had the judge call. It was resolved by the judge. Yeah, Jango Tarkintown versus Han Yellow. In game 1 here. We've got the tech out. Always a very scary card. This may be the first time this weekend that I've seen War Juggernaut on a board with no damaged units.
I think if another match goes to game 3, we should move to that.
I agree. I mean, I want to make sure to get it. I don't want to
try to finish
switch this mid-game.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if another one gets to game 3,
yeah,
that might be worth switching to.
Yeah, because we value continuity. I know it can make it hard both for us and for you guys to jump around between games, but we really want to try to highlight all these players. These are 6 amazing players on 2 of the best teams in SWU, so we really want to try to get as much action in as we can. Radiant 7. Ooh. This is an interesting play from Tatta, and I know not every Jango deck is on this, but it can be a very impressive card.
I actually like it.
Yeah.
Even like among the Bothan team, there was disagreement on this card. I've liked it. I like the attack reduction effect.
Yeah, so when it enters, you choose an opponent to take 5 indirect damage, and then also each non-leader unit gets -1 attack for each damage on it. So he's spreading this around to the so now that Cantina Bouncer has 0 power.
Yeah, it only affects enemy units.
Yeah, only affects enemy units.
Reduction. Yeah.
And Filip didn't want to damage his tech, which I like because you don't need the power for tech, but you just want your tech to not die. So he wants to keep his tech undamaged. Also, the Jango could tap the tech if he did a damage to it, so he keeps the 2. He does keep the 2 power on the board for this turn.
It's interesting how different Filip's approach is to how I've approached this matchup. Mm-hmm. I found my wins were coming from going as hard as I can into Jango's base, and he's chosen the control route. Mm-hmm. It's not working out so far.
I think a lot of that might also depend on how your start goes. Yeah, I think that's one reason that a lot of very high skill players gravitate towards Han, because you have so many options, and you can make the choice of, okay, this game I should race, this game I had a worse start, I should try to control. Yes, this is the first match. This is the first game. There's only one of the other 3 matches in a game 2 right now, with Tyler from Maclunky Gaming 1-0 up on Wu from KTOD. The other 2 games are both in game 1. So we have Filip versus Tatta that we're watching now, and we have Alex the Greatest from KTOD up against Zach, the captain of Maclunky Gaming. Yeah, I agree with Deerfish. I think Filip's hand was really suboptimal for racing, which isn't a bad thing. I think he just chose and realized that he shouldn't force the race and kind of play the hand that he has, which is a little bit slower.
If we get to see more of his games, it might be interesting to see if this is just tactically how he's decided to approach the matchup, or if it was just, this is the hand I have. Yeah,
and we saw the same thing yesterday when we saw Filip play the mirror against Alex the Greatest in the first best of 3 between these teams, where we saw Filip do a lot of they were very long and grindy games. Tatta is not interested in long and grindy games. He wants to play Devastators, and he wants to go get some dinner. He says, let's get this out of here. Let's So up to 21 damage on Han's base, only 3 on to Tatta's base, and that is a space force.
And another 3, 24.
I've got an update.
Yeah.
Zach beat Alex in game 1.
Okay, so we have, in both of the games that we are not watching, Maclunky is up 1-0.
And this is kind of playing into what we thought might have been their strategy, that they're just going to win the other 2 matches.
Yeah. Yeah, when Maclunky sat this Filip down next to Tatta, and we are going to game 2 here. So Tatta gets game 1 here. Tatta's doing his part and his best for the KTOD team. And we think that there was basically a decision from Maclunky to say, hey, let's win our other 2 matchups. We're confident in both of them. And so now we're going in here, and this is game 2 of Tyler Dark from Maclunky Gaming on Jango Tarkintown against Wu from KTOD on CAD Tarkintown. And we're currently 1-0 Tyler. So to reiterate, all 3 matches are in game 2. Maclunky has won 2 of the game 1s with their Jango beating CAD. Maclunky won a game 1 with their CAD Green beating Han Yellow. And KTOD won the game 1 with KTOD's Jango against Maclunky's Mono Han. It's a lot of information, doing my best to throw it all at you as succinctly as possible.
I'm having trouble remembering all the matchups and names, so go for it. Go for it. So we're going into 5 resources with no board on both sides.
I think CAD is okay with this.
Yeah, I'd say so.
It's
kind of his goal.
Yeah.
Minimal units on the board.
I honestly don't think... Jango doesn't hate the empty board part, but I think Jango hates the 0 damage on CAD's base part. If they had been getting some units in... If Tyler had been spending his time, getting some damage into the base and playing units, and Wu is spending his time removing them, then Tyler feels a little bit better. But yeah, the fact that there's no damage on the base, I think Wu is probably a little bit happy right here, even though we've seen all
units
weekend.
In the discard. So
Yeah.
Something happened.
Happened.
There were battles, but none of it went to base.
Had.
Yeah.
But we've seen all weekend how much reach this Jango deck can have.
All right.
And here we see the Boba pilot coming in with the shield and the CAD ping.
So far, Maclunky is up 1-0 in 2 of the matches. And KTD is up 1-0 in the other match.
Yes. So we are here in game 2 of Wu's CAD Tarkintown against Tyler, a.k.a. Dark from Maclunky Gaming's Jango Tarkintown.
2 Boba pilots on the ground.
Yeah.
I like that unit. I think it's good. And it's nice.
I haven't seen this much Boba since set 2.
So we have a Bosk that
may
Wu
come
is
down.
considering to play. It's interesting. Wu played Kira Green all day, and now here he is, back on CAD Tarkintown.
Well, I think a lot of this is a concession to the 3v3 team format. There's going to be some amount of being able to choose your matchups, but not a lot of it. You know that you can dodge certain decks if you want to. The whole team aspect, I think, really makes an interesting stance on what decks people want to play and what decks people think become the optimal 3v3 team composition.
Yeah.
This is a nice Bazine play. Oh, wow. We see what seems like a pretty stacked hand from Tyler.
Is that 2 Devastators?
We see 2 Devastators, a P-38, a Ruthless Raider, and a Surprise Strike. So that is a lot of top end in Tyler's hand.
This turn, we're probably playing the Ruthless Raider, right?
I think so, and I'm pretty sure that last card is a second Devastator. I can only see a sliver of the art, but I'm fairly certain that's a second Devastator.
Yeah, I think the art looks the same on the edge.
Yeah.
So, do you eliminate 1 Devastator?
I mean, the other option is if you take
a Ruthless?
That's a tough one. The other option is you just take the Ruthless Raider, and then this turn is a Surprise Strike P-38. That's not a terrible turn, but that is what Wu goes for. So he says, I'm going to mess up your turn this turn.
Yeah.
But now he knows. He knows how much reach Tyler has, so at least he has the ability to play around that. Everyone else that plays Jango has the hope they don't have the 2 Devastators, and Wu knows that he does.
So now, like, sneak attacks that he draws are going to be live.
Sneaks are very live, and in 2 turns, it's just the Devastator City.
Right.
Wu is moving us into a base 3 number system with 6 damage on his base.
If Tyler can find a sneak, he probably wants to sneak the first one, at least, to open the door for the next one to come down, even if he doesn't have a sneak.
Yeah, it's also nice just because of the way the resources line up. He spends 7 to sneak a Devastator, and then he plays 1. And Sneak Devastator, for those who have not been watching this weekend, can be 13 damage to base if uninterrupted. So if you do that twice, that is 26 damage to base. which is more health than Tyler's base starts with.
All right,
Or
Tyler's had
Wu's base.
enough of this not attacking bases nonsense.
Yeah.
Needs to smuggle. There we go. Yep. We also have we know we have a P38, a surprise strike, and a replacement card in Tyler's hand.
We see the CAD flip, so this is a very. We knew the P38 was there.
Wu goes to exhaust his leaders. Like,
Yeah.
okay, obviously this is. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, Jango's already been used this turn, but to me that's not the relevant part. The relevant part here is he gets another unit to soak up a CAD ping, because it would have been very clean to say CAD trigger, pop the shield, and then attack into Boba. And now this P38 says, hey, you can't just easily, you can't pop my shield for free.
And this Boba unit already could kill the CAD leader and just lose a shield, nothing else. So he's set up to do that next turn immediately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the P38 death trigger, popping the shield on the crafty.
I mean, we may be set up to see Tyler close this out 2-0.
It's possible. He's got a lot of
look
damage
at
on
that.
base. We know he has 2 Devastators in hand. Oh, we see the Force Choke come out.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. I guess he had the resources this turn. That frees him up to have his full 7 next turn.
Mm-hmm. And also notably for Tyler, that draws him a card. We know he has 2 Devastators, so Triple Dark Raid is less live, but those sneak attacks are very live right now.
That was quite the interesting setup for Tyler. Even CAD trading 7 health for a shield token.
Yeah,
just to kill the bow pilot and draw him a card.
Yeah, and I would imagine that, and I think that that's a nod to the fact that Wu knows that Tyler has 2 Devastators, and he says, I can't take damage on my base. I know how much reach you've got. We see the War Jug come out, so only going to be able to tap one thing.
I take that to mean a sneak attack was not drawn. Doesn't mean that necessarily, but that's what I would infer there.
It might also mean that he didn't think Sneak was going to get him there. He thinks that, especially post-board, he knows how many effects Wu is playing to exhaust vehicles. He may be playing electromagnetic pulses. So it may just be Tyler respecting the options that Wu is going to have to not let the Sneak hit. Because electromagnetic pulse is only really good against the Sneak target when you have 0 damage on your base as Tyler. He probably wants the ability to say, no, you're going to have to do all 6 damage to this Devastator. A single tap effect is not going to scam me out of this. I'm going to play one, make you deal with it, play a second one. So Wu needs to have some permanent answers for these Devastators.
I think one of the ways to at least deal with it for a bit is a CAD unit.
Yeah.
We would like to see.
So no ambush from the Bosk. He just CAD pings and Tarkintowns to kill the War Juggernaut. He didn't want to kill his Bosk. This is also really nice because it helps more easily deal with any of the Devastators, because now Electromagnetic Pulse with Boskow deals 4 damage instead of 2, and that gets you most of the way to killing a Devastator. So Wu, I think, playing really well in terms of understanding what he needs to do here, which is not die to 2 Devastators. We saw him trade his CAD in what looked like a bad trade, but he didn't have a choice. He couldn't take that damage on his base. We see him set this Bosk up so that he can try to deal with these Devastators. We don't know what he has in hand, he being Wu in this case, to deal with this, but he's much more likely to be able to deal with it with this Bosk on the field.
2 damage, 3 damage, just 1. Okay, so 1 just for the exhaust.
1 to exhaust.
Base.
I would have liked to have seen Tyler put 1 damage on the Bosk, just because Bosk could potentially do something to this Devastator.
There's the CAD unit.
There's the CAD unit, so that deals with Devastator 1.
Right. Here's Devastator 1.
But now we have the same issue of Bosk makes dealing 6 damage to Devastator a little bit easier. So he still could have a Bosk to kill this Devastator. And the other thing is, if Tyler plays his Devastator and doesn't tap the CAD unit, then Wu gets a free attack, because you can't rescue the Devastator even if you want to when you already have one. So it basically removes that line from Tyler. Like, Tyler has to tap the CAD unit if he plays the Devastator here.
I assume he will. Oh, now we sneak attack.
Now we see the Sneak Ruthless Raider. So he's going to tap the CAD, 2 to it, 2 to base.
I do like saving the Devastator for that last burn.
Yeah.
Just finishing the game with it.
So we see 18 for so 18 tapping the CAD. Now can Wu tap or otherwise deal with this Ruthless Raider this turn? That is a Relentless Pursuit. So that is capturing the Ruthless Raider, stopping the defeat trigger.
TDR. Relentless Pursuit has been excellent this weekend.
And Tyler can't afford to pay for a Devastator here, but we also know we already had 2 in hand. So the odds of him only hitting the third one are pretty low. He gets to ping the shield here for free, which is not nothing.
No.
And then also the attack for 3 puts Wu to 21, which is 4 points away from dead. And second Devastator is 4 points of damage.
Yeah.
So another Relentless Pursuit. Oh my goodness. Wu came prepared. These Relentless Pursuits have been really good.
Hot shot blast.
Wu is dead if he lets that IG hit him. So that Relentless Pursuit was very clutch from Wu, making sure that he doesn't just lose this game. Now Tyler's gotta work for it. He's got to do something else here.
6 + 5. Yeah. Okay. So 10 gets him. 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, and so Tyler needs to deal with 2 things. So Tyler can kill the Boba pilot and tap the CAD with the Devastator.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but with the Devastator, he can kill Boba and tap CAD. The fact that CAD has a shield doesn't matter for the Devastator's indirect damage.
True.
So he can still survive this turn, at least with what's on board.
Maybe Waylay does punish this hard, but you gotta play to your outs. Like you gotta do what you can.
Yeah,
Wu would have died.
Yeah, he's already at the point where if he attacks with this CAD unit, if Wu attacks with CAD unit, he's feeling good even if Tyler rescues a unit. So anything you capture should go under the CAD unit. He's also at the point where if he gets hit with that IG 2000, he's dead. So if Tyler bounces the CAD unit and gets back 3 units instead of 1, it doesn't matter. If he gets back the Devastator and attacks with it, he wins anyway. So I like stacking all the units under CAD. I think that's very smart by Wu.
So 1 damage I think kills the Boba unit.
Yeah, so you 1 damage to the CAD and 1 damage to CAD to tap it, 1 damage to Boba to kill it, and then 2 to base. And this means Tyler's not dead this turn. At least on board. I should say not dead on board.
6, 79. Yeah, probably just not dead. And we'll see.
And then tapping the CAD unit here. So we could take 6 going to 19, but Wu has to have an answer for this Devastator. And he has one if he attacks with Bosk.
Well,
so
probably. Well, yeah, because he didn't claim.
He didn't claim. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, if you just have absolutely nothing, you claim here.
So that is 4 damage to the Devastator.
And 1 more, and the CAD ping.
And the CAD ping. So
nice.
like I said, so the Bosk was instrumental there. Yeah, the fact that he had Bosk out, which he played.
And a Sentinel in space is great for TDR. And sneak attack.
So yeah, I'm not sure what Tyler can have here. He's got a lot of cleanup to do. His 3rd Devastator doesn't do it.
Yeah, it's not enough now.
The blue dice mean that the blue dice on a unit means a shield. A blue dice on the base means that it has, or a leader means that it has been used. So the epic actions on both bases and both leaders have been used. That's what the blue dice is.
A lot of players have been using some sort of X token or something like that. These guys have just been using the blue dice for that to show that the epic action was used.
Yeah, but on CAD it represents that CAD unit is shielded because Relentless Pursuit was used to capture the Devastator.
Yep. Oh. Did we scoop? So
we are going to next. Okay.
Oh, they're going to game.
They're
3,
going.
right?
Wu and Tyler are about to go to game 3. We have not seen Alex versus Zach yet. I would like to get at least a glimpse in on that one. Okay, so this is where we are now. Yeah, so this is. I believe we are still in game 2 here. This is Alex the Greatest from KTOD. And this is Zach, the captain of Maclunky Gaming. Zach on a CAD green list that really rampaged through this 3v3, doing a lot of work to Jango's in the process. I believe also got at least 2 copies in the top 8 of day 1. I'm not 100% sure what the day 2 conversion rate was. But yeah, this CAD green list has been really impressive. And obviously Alex on Monohan is always impressive. This guy has won more PQs than I've been to. So in terms of the winner's bracket versus the loser's bracket, so KTOD came up from the loser's bracket. They played a best of 3 yesterday, which KTOD won, and that gave Maclunky Gaming their first loss. This is, however, a double elimination tournament, so this is the second best of 3 these teams have played. And that is...
Yes, Wes, Alex was wearing his trophy husband shirt.
Absolutely.
At least the first day of the event, he was.
Yeah, he was wearing it yesterday.
Yeah.
Taking the Maul with the Spark of Rebellion, which makes sense. Maul is a very good closer card, especially in this green shell.
So Zach's up a game, right?
Yeah, so Zach is up a game on Alex. This is game 2. Zach won game 1. I do not have an update on Tatta and Tatta versus Filip. I believe they are still in game 2. Filip lost game 1. Tatta won game 1. And then the other matchup of Wu versus Tyler is going to game 3. So none of the 3 matches have been decided yet. Everything is still up for grabs in this 3v3 final.
And we were talking before the matches with the captains, and they both agreed the most exciting moment is when you're down to the deciding match.
Oh yeah, the whole team's huddled around. Everybody's trying to figure out what you want to do a combination of being helpful and not distracting your teammate. It's really an interesting experience to be on the team side of, where you're trying to be supportive. You're trying to win the games not just for yourself but for your team. It's a really cool atmosphere. Anyone who hasn't had the opportunity to do a team tournament in any game that they play, I highly recommend it. It is a really cool event to do. Hopefully there will be more SWU team events because they're a lot of fun.
I suggest going back to camera 2. They're the game 3 that's going really fast. They're already deep into it. It's probably going to resolve here in a few minutes.
You talking about Wu's game?
Yeah, Wu's game 2, camera 2.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do that. Sure.
So it sounds like Wu and Zach, or sorry, Wu and Tyler are going really fast. So it looks like we'll be able to watch this game 3 and then go back to Alex and Zach. Alex and Zach are in a very long and grindy game too. So the hope here is that we get to see the conclusion of one of the best of 3s, and then we get to go back to see more of Alex versus Zach. But we see both Tarkintowns already used here. Forlom already out, having killed what looks like a Boba unit. IG-2000, a lot of board development and a lot of damage on base. So, yeah, Wu and Tyler are certainly not trying to go to time in this one.
They're ready to go support their teammates.
Yeah. There is the Zuckuss. So that was, Forlom Zuckuss.
Wow. Honestly, I don't see that lineup very often.
Yeah.
Because everyone puts so much respect on it.
Yeah, I don't know that Tyler had much choice.
Yeah.
We see the sneak Ruthless Raider. So the interesting thing here is you could kill the Forlom, or you could kill the Zuckuss, because the Raider's going to die as well. So you can put 2 damage there and then the death trigger as well.
Right. So going to 12. Yeah. Messing with those fiddle. Was it? Oh, he's going ahead and accounting for the extra 2. Yep.
Yeah.
14-10 for damage on base.
Mm-hmm.
We have the IG-2000, Cartel Spacer, and what unit is that? Oh, that's the Forlom. That's the
Forlom. Yeah.
Yep.
So I agree with Chad. I think Wu really likes his position here. We know better than to count Jango out. Even in the game that Tyler lost, he was very close, and he basically forced Wu to have the right answers at exactly the right times.
The tank's going to kill Forlom, tap the Spacer. It's not terrible. I believe... Oh, Cad's going to flip this turn.
Yeah, Cad flips this turn. Hasn't flipped yet.
Yeah.
The IG-2000 doesn't die yet.
We're trying to save the ping for CAD to flip, I'm guessing. Yep.
And it also depends on if Wu has two Underworld cards to play, or one, whether he can play one, ping, flip, play another one, ping again, or if he would rather play a larger 6-drop or close to 6-drop Underworld card.
I thought Tyler had an action to play the tank and tap the spacer. Maybe I missed something. Here we go. A relentless pursuit on the tank.
Yeah,
Wow.
so capturing the War Jug and getting a shield on his CAD unit.
Man, I'm going to say it again. Relentless Pursuit has been good this weekend.
Yeah, it's a really good card.
Wow, that card is performing.
Then the pilot. So the IG-2000 dies there because the Sedan gets piloted by it. It gets -2/-2, and then the CAD trigger goes off, and Tyler has to deal 2 damage to it. So if you're wondering why the IG-2000 died, that is why.
It is Underworld.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wu, I agree. Wu does look really locked in. He played. We didn't see his game 1 that he lost, but game 2 and what we've seen of this game 3 have been very locked in. I think Tyler is playing well. Also, I don't think he's made any mistakes that I've seen. But that's just the way it goes sometimes. Yeah.
Look at that. That's game 3. So
that's game 3. So
Maclunky
Wu takes it. Maclunky
Gambit.
Gaming down by 1.
Their gambit was to win both of these matches.
Yeah. So let's switch back over to Alex. Yeah, because we didn't get to see as much of this. So this is game 2. So we're back to to recap. Wu won 2-1 against Tyler. So KTOD is currently 1-0 up. They have to get 2 of these best of 3s. So
do we know if this is still game 2?
I believe this is still game 2. There's a lot of
Zach
resources
is
out
up.
there. Zach is up
up.
1-0.
Yeah. Okay, let me update that.
I'm fairly confident this is game 2, and I believe Tatta is still also in game 2. We may be getting an update soon, though.
Both their games are still hot and heavy. I'd go back to the Han.
That's where we're on now.
We're on Alex's
Yes,
match.
that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
And they're both 0-1, right?
They're both still in game 2? All right.
Alex and Zach are Alex on 0,
Yes.
Zach 1.
Yes. Yeah, so we did get confirmation. Both of the other matches are still in game 2. So we have KTOD winning one of the best of 3s. Zach 1-0 up on Alex in game 2. And we have Tatta 1-0 up on Filip still in game 2.
Oh.
And we have a scoop here.
Well, yeah. I'm pretty sure Alex just won.
I believe Alex won.
He's-
I was too
He's
busy trying to make sure I
gesturing
kept
as
all of the things in check.
yeah. Alex
All
won.
right,
yeah.
so yeah, Alex won
won
game 2,
game
so they're
2.
about to go to game 3.
So I'll jump to camera 1.
Just
Yep.
did.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so Alex has won game 2. So Alex and Zach are going to a game 3. Yeah, I agree with Deerfish. Wu's game 2 was incredibly well played. I think he set up a lot of lines. I really enjoyed the way that he played his Bosk, and he knew from several turns before that Tyler had multiple Devastators that he had to deal with, and he said to himself, "This Bosk is how I'm going to deal with him. I'm going to get him out, and I'm going to keep him out." Tyler couldn't deal with the Bosk, and then the Bosk ended up killing the second Devastator. So, yeah, I really liked Wu's playlines. Especially in that game 2. Obviously, everything that we've seen, but that game 2 especially were really solid lines. And now we're here. So this is back to Tatta versus...
Tatta.
We're getting there. This is Tatta versus Filip from Maclunky Gaming.
Oh, okay. Let's fix that.
Yeah, close. So this is in game 2.
No, that's Tatta Maclunky Gaming versus Tatta KTOD.
Tatta from KTOD is 1-0 up on Filip from Maclunky Gaming, and they're in game 2 now.
Yeah.
Filip has 15 damage on his base. Tatta has 5, but Filip has what appears to be quite the ground arsenal out in this game. So
All right. It's fixed.
it looks like Jango has already died this game, so we need to see what Tatta can do either to get the last 15 points of damage in, or to deal with this ground arsenal that we're seeing here with what looks like Infest Nest, Cantina Bouncer, potentially a Tech and a DJ. I think there are 4 ground units down there for Filip.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, Jango can still just Sneak Attack Devastator if you don't have
Always.
an answer.
Yeah. Millennium Falcon Ambush. So this is a card that kind of fell out of favor last set, but I think it could be coming back a little bit with a more space heavy theme of this set. The 5/5 Falcon, when you play it from hand, it gains Ambush. So normally this card can get smuggled, but Filip using the Ambush here to save some damage on base.
Yeah. I got it commandeered when everybody was main decking commandeers, but in this tournament, I haven't seen many commandeers. It's mostly been electromagnetic pulses.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of electromagnetic pulses.
Some change of heart from Clueless. That was incredible.
Yeah. Now we're starting. It looks like a blaster onto the Cantina Bouncer. So Filip getting aggro. Filip wanted to take this to a game 3. He knows that his team needs him to win now, and he immediately evens up the damage on base.
Certainly has a commanding board presence here. And his base has 5 more health on it.
Yeah. The interesting thing here for me is, can Tatta deal with this Infest Nest? Because if this Infest Nest gets to keep bouncing the Ruthless Raider, he's going to be in for a bad day.
Yeah.
It only has 2 health left, so another Ruthless Raider could kill it. He could always, as Jango, just tap it down for this turn and try to ping it again next turn.
He's tapping his card. I think Wu's match is over. They're probably deliberating over his place as a team now.
Yeah, now that Wu's done, he can help Tatta as well. We can see that Alex and Zach are enthralled in their beginning of Game 3, so it seems like Wu is here helping Tatta, trying to go through his lines, and I would imagine that Tyler is at least giving moral support to Filip.
I think maybe in the last match, Filip asked for help, and Tyler was like, I don't know that matchup. I can't help you there, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, Tyler is an incredible player, but Filip is just one of the Monohan masters. I think you'd put Filip, Alex, Lego Pizza. Those are like 3 of the people that I think of when I think of Monohan. Personally, for me, and just they're all so good with that deck.
Junior and Eekfoil as well.
Absolutely, yeah. There are a good number of Monohan masters. I agree. Junior, Eekfoil, there are a lot of good Monohan players out there. That's a good shout.
And George the Hulk.
Hey, you want a PQ with it?
The deck plays smuggle.
There's Devastator, so this can kill Falcon and Infest, or can kill Infest, tap something. So Tatta's got some options here, which also explains why he was discussing with Wu what to do.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's going to kill Infest and tap the Blaster unit. What do you do with the other 1 point?
I think you don't need to worry about the Falcon. I think you're right about that. I think you do want to kill the Infest because it's just so dangerous to leave around. And I like tapping the Blaster Cantina Bouncer as well.
Does the 1 point on base matter? It puts him to 16. Then we need 14. 9 plus 4. Not quite there.
I think when in doubt, put it on base.
Yeah. Like, are you perfect at base math? Maybe not. Just put it there.
Yeah, that's what I would do, but that's also what I would imagine they're thinking it through before they just make that decision.
Another thing to do is put the 1 on the Falcon, because then your next pinger can finish it off. Like if it's an IG
that's true.
2000.
That's definitely another option.
If you do some math and you don't think the damage on base matters. I would love if they do something completely different than what we said. Like, no, guys, you have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, so we see the 2 damage go to Infest. Looks like 1 to base, and now I think they're deciding what unit to tap. Yeah, now, there is some merit to tapping Falcon because it makes sure that they can't they can't surprise strike to kill your Devastator.
Right. Yeah, I like that.
So this is the safe play,
and it sets up the kill on it.
Yeah, and it because it prevents the same amount of damage. It prevents the same amount of damage as tapping the Cantina Bouncer, and makes sure that you can't get any weird shenanigans to get your big ships killed. So I think tapping the Falcon makes the most sense here.
Yeah, that's good.
There is Cunning. So tap, and then I'm curious what he does here. There's 3 resources up for Tatta.
But Jango's been used.
Django's
so
been
you might
used.
Pump. I think you pump.
And he knows already if there's waylays or not. So yeah, that's lethal. We're going to a game 3 here.
11, 20, yep, 15. Well,
Yeah.
he only needed 10.
Yeah.
It was 15.
Yeah, so Filip gets game 2. So Tatta and Filip are going to a game 3. We're looking here, so live looking here, this is Alex versus Zach. So this is Mono Han versus Cad Green.
I'll fix these labels.
Thank you. I hope you guys are keeping up. We're doing our best to try to get everybody as much screen time as we can and get you guys as much action as we can. This is an action-packed 3v3 finals right here. So this is game 3 of KTOD versus Maclunky Gaming.
Sorry, Zach. I don't know if it's a K or an H.
I don't know
Please
either.
forgive me. Please forgive me.
So if Alex wins this game 3, KTOD wins the 3v3 tournament.
Yeah,
If Zach wins this game 3, then it all comes down to Tatta versus Philip's game 3.
Yeah, the matchup that the Maclunky Gaming chose.
Yeah.
No damage on base.
Yeah, we see the Han flip here. This is very scary. If there's a hot shot blaster or anything like that, this Han could go down in one shot.
I'm told it's an H. I'm gonna believe the people.
We do see the hotshot blaster, so immediately taking out Han. So Han does not get to go to 7. That was a calculated risk. I think Alex is gesticulating that with his hands to Zach, where he knew that was a possibility. And sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I'm not sure what's in his hand or resource row, but Alex felt like he had to take that risk.
Yeah, you find yourself in that spot a lot. You see a Han unit in his hand. Like, you hope you have a good backup in that position, but it comes up a lot.
For me, I think there are a couple of there are a couple of reasons to make that. One is if it works, you're so far ahead that you had, like, I think we see a Han unit in his hand. So if it works where he gets to deploy Han and get to 7, he's so far ahead. And then also usually it's if you have a backup option. Like, okay, if he has the blaster, I go to plan B and it's not terrible. And I think that's why you do it.
Like, you look at what your other option is
Mm-hmm.
and you say, I have to risk it. This other option's just not what I want to be doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So Josh in chat asking about the initiative. We had KTOD won the initiative. They put Tatta first on Jango. Maclunky responded by pairing that up with Filip's Mono Han. And then KTOD chose the other two matchups of KTOD's Mono Han against Cad Green and KTOD's Cad Red versus Jango Tarkintown. The top 16 is starting tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern Time.
Yep.
And here in a very tense Game 3, we have the Ahsoka and the L3 out. So the backup plan for Alex was play 2 units after his Han got killed.
I agree with our other viewer saying, as a viewer, this is the best SWU yet.
This has been great. This has been very top-level SWU. I'm excited that I got to play in it, and very excited that I've gotten to cast it. This has been some incredibly high-level stuff. And just talking to the players between rounds, too. This is a very stacked field. It's been awesome to be here.
So, probably talking this over with Woo at this point is now, this is the match that needs the help.
Gandork asking why we hate the West Coast. I live in the Midwest. They hate me too.
We don't hate the West Coast.
They make me fly out here all the time.
This is our first invitational ever. What do you mean all the time? Look, maybe we'll do another one. If we do another one, it has to be another city.
Yeah, Gandork doesn't want to wake up early on a Sunday. How do you think I have to wake up early on a Sunday and then drive here and cast it? I feel you, man. I feel you.
You can pretend it starts at like 9 a.m. local time and just start it. Just start it over some coffee.
Yeah, so it looks like we've got some deliberation here.
Tyler or Zach is to resource here, right? Or is that the step we're in?
Yeah, I think Zach is deciding what to resource.
So let me jump.
What's up?
Let me jump in,
go
guys.
ahead,
Give
go
y'all
ahead.
some. Y'all can't see on the cameras.
Let's hear it.
The matchup right now is that Wu and Tatta are teaming up to play together against Phil.
Right.
And Tyler and Zach are teamed up together to play against Alex. That's what's happening.
Excellent.
You can't
Doesn't
see it on
seem-
camera.
That doesn't
So
seem
that
fair for Tyler and Zach.
Yeah, so so that makes a lot of sense. They're really utilizing the team aspect of this tournament. And I think a lot of also what that signifies is that Alex is very confident in his own play lines on Mono Han, and Wu and Tatta are both competent in their play lines of Jango. So that they're kind of teaming up to make sure the Jango lines work out. And Alex can do his best on his own, is kind of what that says to me.
It tells me that both Wu and Tatta have no idea how to play Monohan.
Yeah.
Yeah, both Monohans getting teamed up on. Everyone else is like, I don't know that deck.
The rest of the team is saying, you chose to play Monohan. You
Yeah.
you do that. Well,
You do that. I don't want to deal with that. I want to help the other guy.
we'll look at the other decks.
Good luck.
But I think it also makes a lot of sense in the fact that my understanding from talking to the Maclunky guys was that this CAD green list has been something that a lot of them have been working on for a while, and they've been working on it a lot together. So it makes sense that they would team up on that list. And I think it's a similar thing with the KTOD guys and the Jango Tarkintown. That's a list that they came out with last set, and they've been sculpting as well. So a lot of the KTOD guys know that matchup.
All right, so Han's on 7. That's kind of his thing. Could have
We
a
know
Han,
he had a Han unit in
into
hand.
Maul.
Yeah, so we saw that in hand earlier.
into the leader.
CAD.
Into the
I think you
leader.
do it into
Okay.
CAD, yeah.
Yeah.
CAD represents so much more damage. He attacks for 1 less, but the pings
Yeah,
are
the
for
2
2.
damage
He
ping.
can take the damage from Maul anyway, so he gives Zach more options. Like, if there were to be another Maul, like I think it makes sense to go to CAD leader here, even if it's 1 less damage overall. So now he takes 1 overwhelm to base, with Maul killing Han.
Oh, what? I can't remember if there's Relentless Pursuits in his deck. Oh, it's a 7 versus 6. Yeah, that wouldn't work anyway.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now we're at 7 without using Han.
Yeah.
Is he on the initiative? I don't think they're using a token very well. I don't see it.
Yeah. And just so you guys know, I am keeping an eye on the board state of the other game still in progress, the other game 3. It is still really early on. This one is a little bit later on, so I want to stay here because this one may be the one that ends early. If the board state in the other one starts looking crazy, then we'll switch over. TowerNumberNine asking about the leader count for top 16. I haven't seen the leader count for Pool 2. We'll definitely get to that once the 3v3 is concluded and make sure you guys have all that information.
I know Claire was putting data together
Excellent.
for like different decks and what we were seeing, so I expect that to come from Claire probably.
Excellent. So we'll make sure to
Just got
get
all
you
that
that
data.
before we turn the stream off after the conclusion of the 3v3. And it looks here. Okay, so we've got a DJ from Alex here. Oh, he got a Bazine, so he did get a smuggle card.
I don't see a way to kill that DJ, so Alex will have the option to use his Han ability and destroy that.
Yeah.
Or claim and just smuggle it.
Yeah. Smuggle it for 6.
Yeah.
A second
Bazine.
Bazine.
Look, you want to discard any of this, please, sir?
Yeah.
How about this? Can I interest you in a Cantina Bouncer? Okay, yes. I think I saw 2 walkers in Zach's hand.
Interesting.
But playing the Bazine takes that play away.
Well, the DJ took him down to 7 resources.
Okay, it did it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, nice. Nice. Well-timed DJ. He did use Han after the claim. Oh, there's the initiative token. It's a little blue.
Yeah, it's a little
thing.
blue thing.
I missed it.
Yeah, so Alex does kill the Bazine resource.
Now the walker can come down.
Now the walker comes out. So now Cat is in a really good slot, really good spot here. Han has to have an answer. And a reminder, if Zach wins this game, then it all comes down to Tatta versus Filip, which they are still pre-leader flip in their game 3. So they're still early on in their game 3.
Alex thinking about what to do here. Just take out the Bazine.
I think that makes sense there. You don't want to have to deal with Maclunky and Bazine getting replayed.
Yeah.
Zach's at 0 damage on base, so not a big factor there to try to get the damage in. I'm gonna give Alex like one more turn to try to do something before we switch over to the other game.
Right. It is
I'm giving him a shot. I'm giving him a
not
shot.
Moving quickly here.
Well, there's no reason really for him to concede, but he is far behind here. He gets the spark. We see Forlom, Zuckus, Reinforcement Walker.
Zach just wiggling the walker. You want this big boy here?
So I want to see what he takes because I'm curious. He takes the walker. And now I want to go over to Tatta versus...
Let's do it.
Go over to the other matchup.
Yeah, let's see it.
So we're over here. So it looks like it looks like Zach is doing very well in that matchup. So I want to come over to this one and see where we're at here. So it looks like, and we Alex could make a comeback, but from the looks of the board state, it looks like this is the game 3 that's going to determine the 3v3. Filip versus Tatta.
Yeah. Are they 1-1 as well?
Yes, this is also game 3.
They went to game 3.
Yes.
We missed that. Okay. I don't remember seeing Filip win. Okay.
And so here, looking through this board state, we have a DJ out, but no tech. So I would imagine this is a DJ that's been played for 3. So I would imagine it was like a turn 1 DJ, turn 2 Bodhi, turn 3 Kira situation for the Han player.
Yeah.
And we've got Bazine and Guerrilla Soldiers out for Tatta. Base damage is still really low. Tatta still has all his resources on the 4 resource turn. Tarkintown has not been used.
We don't know what Kira named.
We do
but what's
not.
in his hand?
I'm going to go try to find out.
We'll find out for you. Do have the other match on one of our little
Kira
screens.
is naming P38.
P38, okay. That's interesting. Maybe he didn't have a great turn outside of that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've seen people, when the hand, there's nothing like particularly juicy, they'll just name the TDR or something like that.
Yeah, and it could be that P38 was just the best play this turn, because it looks like Filip is going to try to get in some damage this turn as well. Tatta can only tap one thing, so you'll be able to get in for 3 either way, especially assuming you've just seen his hand and know whether or not he can stop you. We don't know what's in his hand. We didn't see the Kira resolve. We just switched over to this game. But that's what I would assume. Yeah, it really makes me curious what Tatta had in his hand that made Filip call that. It's an interesting call on the 4 resource turn. So we see an attack into DJ and a tap. Interesting to attack into the DJ. If you attack into the Bodhi, he only has 1 health left. But also you could just Tarkintown the DJ to just get a unit off the board. If you want to unlock your P38, you have to attack and Tarkintown the Kira.
Right.
Yeah, so he's going to go for the Tarkintown. So I think Tatta's goal here is just remove as much total health from the board as possible. If he knows he doesn't want to lose his Bazine and wants Tarkintown,
I think he did it for the exhaust, right? Like,
yeah.
Obviously, otherwise.
Well, also now you see the Guerrilla Soldier. So Guerrilla Soldier, he like I said, his plan was to take as much health off of the field as possible, because now with 5 health gone instead of 3, if he'd attacked the Bodhi and then attacked Bazine into it or whatever, now there's more places for Filip to put this indirect damage.
Yeah, I'm saying instead of attacking the Kira.
I'm making a pretty graphic for us. They'll have the information.
So we are making a graphic for the top 16.
Yes. So
see all that.
So as soon as this concludes, just so you guys know, we will have a graphic to display the top 16. So stay tuned after the 3v3 ends. We will talk about the top 16 for the 6K. But for now, we're gonna stay focused on this game.
And then after that, we have Korean barbecue.
Sure. Don't threaten me with a good time.
Yep. So I don't think we have.
I believe is Filip deciding where to put the indirect from the Gorilla Soldier?
Yeah, he's holding a die.
Yeah.
This is.
I like putting it all on Kira.
Here we go.
Yeah, I totally agree with this decision by Filip because Bane can't kill the Kira. Tarkintown's already been used, and this doesn't let the Gorilla Soldier ready.
So is this a moment where you just claim as Tatta?
Yeah, especially if you want to unlock your P38. Tatta could claim and first action Gorilla Soldier into the Kira. Tatta could claim and try to draw some kind of tapping unit. There's a lot of options here.
Frank trying to help us. That very hard to read.
Yeah, so Filip claims. Yeah, so it was so the Gorilla Soldier got played. Filip put the damage on Kira. Filip claimed. Then Tatta attacked base for 1 with Bane. So yeah.
Yeah. Right. So it's a moment where you can just go ahead and get that 1 damage in for free.
And now it's another. This is where I think we'll find out who thinks they're ahead and should be attacking base, and who thinks they're not. Because Filip has some interesting trades that he could take. He could just run Bodhi into the Gorilla Soldier, have it be dead to a single ping, but not be dead to something else. Yeah, it also saves his Kira from getting killed on board.
Right.
So I like this attack a lot. I don't think he has enough damage or a big enough lead to be able to just say, hey, I'm just going to attack your base and see what happens.
Okay, sneak attack Ruthless Raider to finish off the Kira.
Yeah.
So now it's a readied Bane, a readied Ruthless Raider versus a Han player who's not yet put down a resource and not spent.
And it is the Jango flip turn as well.
Yeah, so both of them will have the flip available to them. Jango players already played all their resources, so the Han flip will be very safe.
Yeah.
But the Bane is sitting there ready to exhaust. So Han's not going to be like threatened for his life, but he's not going to get to attack this turn either. All right.
So interesting that that Tatta didn't flip. Tatta didn't. Well, he didn't need to flip Jango in response. He still got the Bane ready to tap.
Right. That's just. To me, that's just telling us he definitely wants to get that damage in. He was going to do it no matter what. Okay,
there's the Gamorrean guard. So now
he's valuing that attack a lot. Maybe he has a blaster or something.
Another thing that we could see is Filip flip Han, and then claim to make sure he gets an attack to go up to 7 next turn.
Definitely possible.
So I'm curious to see what Tatta does here. He could claim if he is worried about the line of Filip getting in a free attack next turn. He could just clear the Gamorrean guards. So he does attack 1 in, so he's leaving his Jango open and leaving options. So now the decision is on Filip. Does he want to claim, or does he want to get in that Han attack this turn? He doesn't have. He has 0 open resources. Or no, he has 3 open. Two. He'll have 3 if he attacks. So yeah, if he attacks, he'll have 3 open resources.
So if he has like a surprise strike or something, he could take the Jango out immediately. If he has something to play for 3, he can attack with Han like a slave,
so he could have a waylay or something
liberated
as well.
Slaves or
he attacks
like
into the Jango. I like this. This means if Jango attacks into the Gamorrean guards, then he dies for it.
Right.
And then I think Filip would most like to see maybe a waylay for this Ruthless Raider. other impactful 3-drops. It could be just something like a second Bodhi Rook to try to see if there's any events in John's hand that Filip wants to take.
If you're going to take out the Jango, then any kind of unit starts to get a lot more valuable.
Yeah.
You can't full ping the board, can't full exhaust.
Yeah, so he moved the decision over to Tatta with what he wants to do. Is he going to sack his Jango into this Gamorrean Guards?
The Woo plus Tatta.
He claims, so he keeps his Jango around. We see a Millennium Falcon.
Tatta's hand is P38 and Devastator.
Okay.
P38 and Devastator in hand for Tatta, we were told. That is information from the Kira, I believe. Or it may have been information because Frank was standing behind him. Either way.
So a Falcon was the 3.
A Falcon was the 3.
Nice.
Oh,
like
this
that.
Ruthless Raider was snuck attacked, I think. Yes. Yeah,
Yes, it was.
that's what
we're on 5.
Yep, it happened so long ago. I couldn't remember if it was TDR or sneak attacked.
Yeah.
It's been a long day, folks.
Yeah.
So yeah, that does get Han up to 5. So with Tatta, that makes the Tatta claim make a lot more sense because now any pinger, like an IG-2000 would be insane right now. We know he has the P-38.
Yeah.
But if he draws an IG-2000 for turn, you get to kill the Bodhi, kill the Han, tap the Gamorrean Guards, or tap the Falcon, whichever one you want. I think you want to tap the Gamorrean Guards in that case. Either way, you got options.
Yeah, right now the Bodhi can just finish off the Jango.
Yeah.
So if you just P-38 the Han, you're going to lose your Jango as well.
Yeah. And we are seeing that Alex is actually still hanging on in Game 3 of Han versus Cad Green. There are a lot of dice on his base. So Alex is still hanging on over there, but I think we want to see how this goes down. These are some very pivotal turns in this matchup right here.
So Tatta has initiative.
Mm-hmm.
We know he has Devastator P-38. I think he doesn't have the options he'd like to have. Like I don't think he has that IG-2000. Do we know his third card?
I do not believe we do. So we know before he ended the turn, he had Devastator P-38. He drew 2, resource 1.
Right.
Tatta's hand is still P38. Devastator's another P38.
It was another. I thought so.
So he has a second P-38 in hand for Tatta. So that can either tap the Gamorrean Guards or kill the Bodhi or tap the Falcon.
I'm certainly expecting Bodhi into Jango here, because it is Filip's action, right? Yeah. Should be Filip's action.
He didn't. He did pay for the Falcon, but he had Han extra resources from the turn before, I believe.
Yeah, he did.
So
it was the flip turn.
Yeah. So he used those resources to pay for Falcon.
Yeah, you pay for Falcon in the regroup phase, and you defeat resources at the start of the action phase. This is an interesting deliberation for me. It seems straightforward, but we don't know everything that these guys are considering here. I don't know why you wouldn't Bodhi into the Jango.
I think this is the kind of thing where, and this is part of what you get, especially later on in team events and when you're in untimed rounds. They just want to be very deliberate, make sure they're considering all the options, and go through the pros and cons of different lines. So Filip here deciding that Tatta is not going to be able to get rid of this guards without throwing his Jango into it. So he's going to get damage on base and make Tatta have to do something to the guards.
We know he has a P-38, which can either exhaust the Falcon or finish off the Bodhi.
I think he just finished off the Bodhi here.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
C-Wags, one of the other matches is over. We have Wu took down Tyler from Maclunky Gaming 2-1. That is Wu's CAD Tarkintown against Tyler's Jango Tarkintown. And we have Alex from KTOD on Mono Han versus Zach from CAD Green. Zach from Maclunky on CAD Green. That is in Game 3 as well.
Oh, real quick. There is a lot of damage on Alex's base.
There's a lot of damage on Alex's base, but he's still in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's still in it. So in this game, if Tatta wins this game, KTOD wins the 3v3. If Filip wins this game, we go back to the other game to see if Alex can pull a comeback or if Zach can close it out.
21. So it could be that when they didn't make the Bodhi attack, it could have just been that they did some math and said, look, if we do this and then this, surprise strike the Falcon, he's just dead.
Yeah.
Phil has no cards in hand.
Okay.
One Devastator in Tatta's hand.
Yep.
Alex is playing really slow, and he says because he's hoping that Tatta pulls us out for the team, because he's not looking good in this game.
Yeah.
There's a lot of damage on Alex's
going
base.
on right now that looks like Maclunky's maybe turning the corner, but it's
It
super
does.
tight.
Yeah.
It does.
Tight.
I know.
Yeah. So Alex is basically playing slow, hoping that his game doesn't matter. He's basically hanging on by a thread, trying his best. Trying his best to not go down to Zach. He's holding on very well, in my opinion, anyway. At least from what the board state looked like a few minutes ago. So I think this is the game we need to focus on for now. Yeah, you can't play the Devastator this turn unless he also gets a sneak attack.
Right.
Which would be good.
Was that a tank? I think I saw a tank. He was flashing his cards.
If Tatta gets a sneak attack here, then...
so do you bounce the Falcon so that you don't have both your units on the board for the tank to hit?
I don't know that
you
it
make
matters.
him deal with this, with the guard.
Well, hold on. Let me count, because it only...
Then you play the Falcon? Nope. They're deciding to keep it out.
So I would imagine that's what they were deliberating. So Sneak Devastator here
exactly.
could let you tap both your units 2 to base. That puts him to 17, 9 up to 26, 29. So he's dead either way. So Filip is dead if Tatta has a sneak attack either way.
Should be an exhaust.
So that this is the punish for keeping Falcon out, is that Tatta gets to tap the guards by attacking the Falcon and still gets to keep his Jango out.
Yeah, they must have a plan for the rest of the resources, I think is what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go.
So there's Big Falcon. So we know next turn Tatta can have a Devastator. So Tatta could just claim here. We know that he has a Devastator for 8 resources. He could claim, ping down everything, kill the little Falcon. Well, at that point you bounce the little Falcon, but there's still going to be options there. Filip can bounce it and try to replay it.
He's at 21. Is he forced to claim? Where's that? The tank. Okay, so that's going to put 4 on there. So tank will kill both of the space units.
Yeah, if his last card is War Juggernaut, then he gets to clear the board this turn.
I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah, here it is.
So the War Juggernaut here, the ping kills both Falcons, and then he has to attack Jango into the Gamorrean Guards, which at this point you're okay with.
But then he has Devastator.
Yeah, and then he has Devastator for next
game
turn.
out.
And we'll see if Tatta wants to ping his own War Jug. I don't think he does, just because Han Unit is not good in this, and he maybe decided it out. So I think that's probably the discussion that Tatta and Wu are having right now, is does Filip even have Han Unit in his deck in Game 3? Because if he doesn't, you could ping your War... And they're pointing at it now, too. So they're having a discussion now of whether or not Tatta should ping his own War Juggernaut to give it one more attack.
I'm not sure I would side Han Unit out entirely.
I think I would, because Infest Nest is so much better, and Infest Nest punishes. Well, actually, with only one unit out, Infest Nest can bounce it whether you ping it or not.
Tank's just Tank is a huge card in this matchup.
It is,
but I don't know.
But right now, also, it's the difference between 3 and 4 attack, which is a large percentage difference. It's not like we have this wide board where it's, okay, does my War Juggernaut have 9 or 10 power? You're talking about the difference between 3 and 4. That's a much bigger difference to me.
Another reason I could see to not play the Han is it's a lot harder to get to 7 in this matchup on the Han flip turn. So maybe you're not quite as invested in hitting exactly a 7 on that turn.
Yeah, and the other reason I like pinging the jug too is because Filip and Tatta both know that Tatta has Devastator in hand. So if Filip spends all his resources dealing with this War Jug, then the Devastator is still good. So this Infest Nest is what Filip needed. Han would have been good too, but Infest Nest serves the same role here. Tatta can't just play Devastator.
Yeah.
If he just plays, if he spends all his resources and plays the Devastator, Filip claims and kills him. So he has to find another line. Obviously, you've had a sneak attack, sneak Devastator doesn't win because Filip has 15 health left, not 13.
So Filip wins this, Maclunky Gaming wins.
No, if Filip wins this, we go to the other match. KTOD won the first best of 3. If Filip wins this, we go to Alex versus Zach.
Wu won his match.
Correct. Wu won his match. If Tatta wins this, KTOD wins. If Filip wins, we go to the other match to see Alex versus Zach.
Wow.
Yeah, so Tatta has the claim here. The attack from Infest Nest would have him lose. So now the other thing is here, Tatta can't spend all his resources just tapping the Infest Nest because the same thing happens where Filip just says, okay, I claim, I spend no resources, and I win. So Tatta has to have something here that isn't Devastator. He's only tapping 3, so that's not Devastator.
It's TDR?
Yeah, no, I like the TDR here because the other thing is this can deal with Infest for the turn without using all of your resources. So maybe you also have a waylay, and your goal is to get Filip to claim, and then you waylay the Infest Nest, something like that. Like he at least has to think about other options. And if you don't have anything else, then you do this, and then Filip does something else, and you claim. But this Warjug, as it stands, does not kill the Infest Nest.
Not quite, but there might be like a P38.
There could be, and that could be the other answer. Yeah.
IG 2000.
And Tatta has 5 resources left, so if this gets waylaid, he cannot replay it. This turn.
Yeah.
Okay, Phil's thinking about a DJ to take him off a resource, but he also has an L3 shield he can put down with a blaster in the row. Those are the things that they're debating. Him. Tyler's now fully working with him on this 2v1 versus Wu and Tatta.
Yep.
Okay, so what we've just learned is that Phil in the resource row has two options to smuggle in. One is an L337, and one is a DJ.
I like this choice.
He plays the L3. He plays the L3 from hand. He also has a hotshot blaster in the row, so we know that this L3 is lethal. Tatta doesn't know, but he probably assumes.
And we know there's another L3 if Tatta found a way to deal with it.
So what this means is, if Tatta's move here is attack Warjug into Infest, play P38, then Filip can win. Because then Filip says, I claim, I put a blaster on my shielded unit.
Right. I mean, there's still a card in Filip's hand. If
there is.
Tatta invested everything in taking out the Enfist.
Yeah.
It could be an Liberated Slaves or something.
Yeah, and whoever wins this game, for people watching at home, this is, even if Tatta wins, this is how you beat Jango. You get it to the point where Jango is in check and they can't afford to attack with their units. They constantly have to worry about initiative and how to deal with everything.
Tatta has War Juggernaut, Sneak Attack, and Devastator.
Okay.
Yeah, so Tatta has Warjug, Sneak, and Devastator. So if Tatta claims, Devastator can stop him from dying next turn, because you can kill the L3 through the shield and tap the Infest Nest, but that's still, you die to that next turn. So I believe he's sneak attacking this Warjug here. So Tatta is going to do this to clear the board, I think.
Right.
Because now he can put one Warjug into Infest, one into L3.
Yep.
Now each Warjug has 6 power, so they do kill the Infest.
What he doesn't know is there's another L3 in Smuggle.
Yeah, so a second L3 in Smuggle here, I think... Well, second L3 from Smuggle means that Tatta has to claim, but he can't deal with both... He can't deal with 3 units, even with a Devastator.
Well, the second L3 will kill the first, but it'll have a shield.
Oh, you're right. I forgot it's unique.
Oh,
Zori, no, I like this way more. Yeah, so
Yeah,
Zori, but Zori not being unique, the whole point here is give Jango 3 units to kill. Now Tatta has to claim again. or find a way to. He can't deal with all 3 units.
He can only do 12 with his board.
Yeah, he can deal 12 to base, which is not enough.
3 short. 3
yeah.
short.
He can deal 12 to base, which is not enough. He can kill 2 units, which is not enough.
Now, one of these is TDR. Oh, but his
one is
dead.
TDR, one is
His
sneak
Jango's
attack.
dead.
Yeah. And we also know he has Devastator in hand.
I think we're done here.
Tatta always amazes me with the lines that he pulls out, and he's sitting here with Wu, so if there is a way out of it, he'll find it. But I don't know what it is. It's looking like Filip has a really good advantage here.
Phil has an Enfys Nest in hand as his 1 card. He has a Blaster in the row.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Philip's Enfys Nest in hand and Blaster in the row. So any of these units are lethal.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
yeah.
over.
So all right. So Filip is one here. Let's go to the other game. So now, this is for it all. So huge congrats to Filip. That was a very hard fought victory against a very, very good team. So now Alex is visibly upset because his team is relying on him.
Yeah, and look at this. They both have a lot of damage on base. There's a CAD unit over here.
So this game decides the entire 3v3 here. So CAD unit captures 2.
Just got played. Okay.
Yeah, just played CAD unit.
Wow.
There's 6 damage on base for Alex.
Oh, sure, we can fix the names.
6 damage on base. I mean, at this point, you just put Maclunky versus KTOD.
I think Alex's hand is Cunning and Bodhi.
Okay. Our Bothan spy.
Yeah.
Reporting in. Cunning and Bodhi in Alex's hand.
Cunning and Bodhi in Alex's hand. So we have 22 damage on Zach's base, 23 damage on Alex's base. So the 23 damage on Alex's base means that this CAD attack is lethal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Jetpack. So Jetpack plus the Cunning means that gives Alex lethal. So Zach has to have something else.
And he's got.
So this is 8 damage. So this is lethal as it is right
5
now.
Resources.
This is 8 damage right now.
And it's shielded.
It's shielded.
Relentless Pursuit could grab it. 4. So Barrage doesn't.
No, he has the Relentless Pursuit, the Kira specifically. I don't think Barrage does it because now Alex gets the Cunning and buff the Kira up to 9, which is lethal.
Is that all of his resources? Zach's resources?
Zach has, it looks like 2 resources up.
Where?
And so Alex has Cunning in hand. If Zach can't stop the Cunning buff.
I think that's his deck.
If Zach can't stop the Cunning buff, Alex wins this.
Yeah.
KTOD wins it. Wow. We left this game 20 minutes ago because we thought Alex was dead to rights. We said, we're going to go watch the game that might matter.
Wow.
Huge congrats to KTOD. I'm going to go see if we can get the guys in here. They're going to celebrate with their friends for a second.
Wow.